Third graders. Okay, today we're going to work on another property of multiplication. And so far we've seen the overlap between properties of addition and properties of multiplication, like the identity property and the commutative property works with both. Today we're going to talk about the distributive property. Okay, and so this is a new one and it's a little tricky. Okay, so we're going to spend a couple days working with the distributive property, working on one lesson of the distributive property. Okay. Before we go too much further, I want us to talk about that word distributive and what word do you hear in there? What word is the base? You hear the word distributive is an adjective. Distribute would be the verb, right? Distribute. And this E makes the U say its name. It could be a spelling last word this week, couldn't it? Okay. When you distribute something, what do you do? Okay, let's say I distributed the spelling list. What did I do to the spelling list? Or let's say we distributed the newspapers. What do we do with the newspapers? Okay, when you distribute something, it's like you pass it out or you spread it out evenly. So you start with a sum of, you start with a group of them, and you distribute them means you pass it out, or you, okay? All right, so distribute, ready? Distribute means to break into sections. So when we're multiplying bigger numbers, we can distribute if we break it into smaller chunks. So watch this. If I take 6 times, let's say 6 times 7, I always think that's a tricky one. A lot of people don't, but I think that one's a tricky one. 6 times 7. I know that 7 is made up of two numbers. I can break 7 into two smaller pieces. I can break it into 5 plus 2. 5 plus 2 is equal to 7, right? So the distributive property of multiplication says that if I multiply 6 times 5 and I multiply 6 times 2, and I add those two products together, I'm going to get the product of 6 times 7. I'm going to get this number. Okay? All right, let's try a different one. Let's say I did 8 times 9. 8 times 9. Well, if I break 9 into two smaller pieces, let's say I break 9 into 5, I know my 5s, and 4s, right? If I multiply 8 times 5, right, I'd multiply it times one of the add-ins, and then multiply it times the other add-in, and then I add those two numbers together, I would get the product of 8 times 9. Okay? So all that we're doing when we're doing the distributive property is breaking it into smaller chunks. Okay, so let me show you an array. See what you think of this array. Can you see the whole thing? Yeah. Okay. Here's an array. Okay, and this array, I did one purposely, one that I knew you would know, but I want us to see something. Okay, how would you name this array? This array is 1, 2, 3. 3 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 times 7. Now, we know our song, we know our jingle, we would figure out 3 times 7. But I want us just to practice with this with the distributive property so that we could see how this works. Okay, so 3 times 7. Uh-oh, sorry. I want you to be able to see it, but I'm not doing a very good job of. Okay, you ready? 3 times 7. I know that I can break 7 into two factors, right? Well, I could do it a bunch of different ways, but I'm actually going to do it 5 and 2. Okay, 5 and 2. So if I multiply 3 times 5, and then I multiply 3 times 2, I should get the product of 3 times 7. Okay? So watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see, I divide it right here. This would be 3 times 5, right? 3 times 5. And this would be 3 times 2. And if I add them together, I get 3 times 7. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 2 is 6. 15 plus 6 is 21. Okay, so for the distributive, all I'm doing is taking this array, and I'm breaking it into chunks. Now, what's important is that you break it into chunks that you know, right? I know my 5's times table and I know my 2's times table, so that's really easy. Could I break it into, another way I could break 7 would be to break it into 3 plus 4, right? So I could break it into, break it right here. 3 times 4 plus 3 times 3. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 3 is 9. 12 plus 9 is 21. Okay? So all I'm doing is taking one of the two factors, and I'm breaking that factor into two add-ins, 5 and 2, or 3 and 4, or I could do 1 and 6. I don't know that that would really help me that much, right? And then I keep one factor and I multiply it by each of the add-ins. What gets a little confusing is how you write that, okay? Because we're going to have to use parentheses. So watch this. We know that 7 is, let's say 3, let's do this one. 7 is 4 and 3, right? 4 plus 3. Okay. So I do 3 times 4, 3 times 4, plus 3 times 3, 3 times 3. So I have to use parentheses. And do you remember that in the order of operations, we're always going to do parentheses first. So we're going to do, remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, if you're in 3H, we went over that. Please excuse you, do parentheses first. So we're going to do this set of parentheses and this set of parentheses, and then we're going to add them together. So 3 times 4 is 12, plus 3 times 3 is 9. 12 plus 9 is 21. We're still going to get 21. We just divided it or distributed it into smaller groups, smaller chunks that we could do. All right, so now let's take a look at page, sorry, I don't know what page it is, page 209 in your math book, okay? We're just going to do a few together. All right, Mark bought 6 new fish for his aquarium. He paid $7 for each fish. How much money did he spend altogether? So we're going to have 6 groups with $7 each, right? 6 times 7. That's a hard one to solve, isn't it? 6 times 7. Okay. You can use the distributive property to solve the problem. The distributive property states that multiplying a sum by the number is the same as multiplying each add-in by the number and then adding the products. So we could do this 6 times 7, right? We could do 6 times 7, or we could break 7 into 2 pieces and multiply 6 times each of the add-ins and then add those together, those products together. Okay? Remember that the sum is the answer to an addition problem and add-ins are the numbers being added. Okay? So that's a good thing to vocabulary, but we know that. We've been practicing that all year long. Just like when we say factors, we have 2 factors in a multiplication problem, and that answer when you multiply is called the product. Okay, so let's look at here. It says, make an array with tiles to show 6 rows of 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 7. 6 rows of 7. All right, now break apart the array to make 2 smaller arrays for the facts you know. So, can you tell right here that they're going to break it into 6 times 5. They're going to break it right here. 6 times 5 and 6 times 2. 6 times 5 and 6 times 2. Because I know my 5 times tables easily and I know my doubles. So, 6 times 7 is equal to 6 times 5 plus 6 times 2. 6 times 7 is equal to what 6 times 5? 30. And 6 times 2 is 12. 30 plus 12 is 42. And you can go off to the side and do that if you need to. So Mark spent $42 for his new fish. Okay? What other ways could you break apart the 6 times 7? Well, we could break it apart a bunch of different ways. Let's get a different color, right? Instead of doing 5 and 2, we could break 7 into 4 and 3. We could break it right here, 4 and 3. So 6 times 4 plus 6 times 3. Okay? We could also break 7 into 1 plus 6, but that's not really going to help us too much because 6, I mean, it could, but I don't know if you know what 6 times 6 is, that will help you, right? All right, but it's easier to break it into chunks that are familiar to you, like 5s and 2s, than it is to break it into 6s or maybe a trickier one. All right, let's keep practicing. Let's look at the next page. Suppose Mark bought 9 fish for $6 each. Okay, so now there's 9 rows with 6 in each. You can break apart the 9 times 6 array into 2 smaller arrays for facts that you know. One way is to think of 9 as 5 plus 4. So we're going to break the 9 into 5 and 4. Okay, we're going to break the 9, I'm going to write it up here. The 9 is 5 plus 4, right? So let's break that big number into smaller. Okay, so we're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So this array up here would be 5 times 6. And this array down here would be 4 times 6, right? So this whole big array is 5 plus 6 plus 4 times 6. Did I say plus or times? Sorry. Okay, so 9 times 6 is equal to 5 times 6 plus 4 times 6. So did it matter? In the first problem over here, we broke our second factor. We broke 7, which was the second factor. And in this one, we broke the first factor. We distributed the first factor. Does it matter? No. Either factor, whichever factor you want to break, is totally fine. 9 times 6 is equal to 5 times 6. 5 times 6 is 30. Plus 4 times 6. 4 times 6 is 24. 30 plus 24 is 54. So Mark spent 54 for 9 fish. All right, we're going to stop today and let that kind of simmer. But this is the only problem I want you to do. I just want you to do number 1, okay? Just number 1. And I want you to take a picture of number 1 so I could see it, okay? You're going to draw a line to show how you could break apart 6 times 8. Now, you get to choose. You could break it the first factor, you could break the 6, or you could break the 8. However you want to do it. 6 or the 8. So you could break the first factor, or you could distribute the second factor. Okay, what numbers do you multiply? So you're going to have to figure that out wherever you break it. Okay, so you're going to break it and then show it. Okay, so for example, if I broke it right here, this is 6 times 4, and this is 6 times 4. So what numbers do you multiply? I am going to multiply 6 and 4, 6 and 4. Now you don't have to do it that way. You can do it however you want to do it. Let's say you wanted to do it, let's erase for a second. Erase this line. Let's say you wanted to break it right here. What would this be? This would be 3 times 8. And the bottom one would be 3 times 8. Okay? Do you have to do it evenly? No. You could break it. Oops, I'm going to run out of time, so I better talk fast. You could break it right here. 2 times 8 and 4 times 8. Okay? You decide how you want to break it, and then show how you are going to distribute the numbers and come up with your total product. Okay? Just this one. And then tomorrow we'll keep working. Good job, everybody.